happiness warrior. Welcome back to my channel. So, my purpose is to help others fall madly in love with themselves. My passion is to inspire and be inspired. I want to be the epiphany of the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to shine. Shine so bright that the diamond will look at me and say, "Girl, how do you shine like that?" So, today we are going to talk about what I call going back to basics with a book that literally changed my life. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ta-da! I am giving you a moment. I know this book has been through hell and heaven and back to me. But don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover, because as beat up as this book is, it has a ton of important information. And the I was introduced to this book by a wonderful coworker. So I've always worked in a customer facing situation. And I remember I used to struggle with people. Some people are rude and they seem a little irrational when you talk to them. And of course, you're at work, you have to be professional. Not only do you want to be able to handle the situation professionally without losing your temper, you also don't want the situation to affect you afterwards. And so I could see how she handled every situation, even when the customer was not cooperating. She handled it with poise. So I always told her, "Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed. I wonder if when I get to be your age, that I will be as wise as you." And so she mentioned that she read this book, and so I decided to buy the book, but I wasn't into the self-help book life. So of course I didn't want to spend the money for it I didn't want to spend too much money on it. So I decided to go for a very cheap version, and it took a few weeks, but when it came it was beat up, but the information was great. So what I'm going to talk about, I picked six principles that I'm going to discuss. Now keep in mind, these are not in order. So these are my specific orders, because this is my specific order because I picked these six to talk about. So when you read the book or listen to the audio, I don't want you to be expecting things to come in this order. This is my specific order. And I throw in there actually some other principles from this book. Oh, you were making fun of me because I had a beat up book? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, I actually have a normal book. So I took the Dale Carnegie leadership training course, and that's how I got the book. I don't know if they sell this specific book like this. I'm giving you a second. This is two books in one. So again, so it's how to win friends and influence people. And the second one is how to stop worrying and start living. So some of the principles that I'm talking about today are from that book. So I know they sell this book separately for sure. I don't know if they sell this combined version. That's what I was saying. So let's get into it. First principle is smile. Yes, I know. I'm starting with something very simple that we can all do. If you don't already do this, you can practice in front of your mirror. But a preamble is that Dale Carnegie says that these principles only work if they come from your heart, which means these are not manipulation techniques to trick people. These are not flatteries. And I'm saying this because that's what I thought at first. Like, the title of the book did not make me want to read it. I don't like to flatter people or be insincere, so I definitely was judging the information before I read it. And so he says it has to come from your heart. So when you do smile, make sure that it's sincere, because if it is sincere, people can feel it. And what he says is that a smile costs nothing. It costs nothing, but it brightens the lives of those who come in contact with it, right? So for me, I experienced this in real life. I didn't used to be someone who smiled all the time. And I think it was also a little cultural. We don't walk around like, hey, 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 hey. You see someone you talk to them. You don't just walk around smiling at everybody. But I know that when I smiled more, I saw how it made other people feel. I saw that it made them feel better. And so I smile a lot more than I ever did. Also, you can't smile and frown at the same time. You can't smile and be unhappy at the same time. But like I say, it has to come from your heart. And the more you do it, the more you can see that it also makes you happy. So it's a two-way street. The second one is become a friendlier person. And there are many ways to do it. One way, a few ways that I'm going to mention is listen to people. Like, listen to people to understand, not to judge them, not to criticize them, or not to, don't listen just because you want to be able to listen, pretend that you're listening so you can respond, but truly listen. And when you listen without judgment and without criticism, it's so much easier, right? You listen with your heart. And also, um, give sincere praise. And when I say give sincere praise and sincere appreciation, it's because people can spot a fake. So if you're going around giving people insincere praises, those are just what? I mean, they are insincere, but it's a form of flattery, right? And people can spot a fake. So if you're gonna do it, really mean it. And if you're not ready, maybe take time and make sure that you mean it before you do it. So remember, I talked about how to stop worrying and start living. So one of the principles that I like from that book that I added here, so that would be principle number 3, and it's called overcome worries. So how do you overcome worries? First of all, know that it's not good for your health, right? If you are constantly worried or anxious, it's not good for your health. I know that you're not doing it on purpose, but it's not good for your health. That being said, how do you overcome worry? If you are dealing with a stressful situation, think about the worst case scenario. Like, think about the worst case scenario that could happen in terms of that situation. Write it down. As you know, I'm an advocate of writing things down. So think about the worst case scenario that could happen from that situation. Write it down and ask yourself, can I handle it? And go from there. So that Carnegie says, plan for the worst and um, hope for the best. Because if you can think about the worst case scenario that could happen and you can handle the worst case scenario, I guarantee you can handle the best case scenario. Yes or yes, you know? And so gather all the information, think about the worst case scenario that could happen, and ask yourself, can I handle it? Plan for the worst, hope for the best. Right? Actually, the wording he uses is prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Right? Like, prepare for the worst case scenario and hope for the best. So that was principle number 3. Principle number 4 is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. This should not come as a surprise to you, because remember, I made a video about showing gratitude. So here we are. So the words he used for this is count your blessings and not your troubles. I know as human it's so easy to focus on the things that are not working, right? Like, great things are gonna come at you, boom, 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 boom. You're not gonna think about it. One bad thing happens, and all of a sudden, oh, this happened and that happened, and my life is terrible, and this and this and this and this and this. Like, it's so easy for us to go into that situation and get into uh, complaining mode. But even just to be grateful, it's funny because it's like we say, oh, tomorrow is not a guarantee, life is short, but we go to bed. Like, I'm gonna go to bed today and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, hopefully. But it's like, thank goodness, I am so grateful to be alive. I am so grateful to be alive in great health, right? Because I don't know what's going to happen, and you don't either. So if you truly believe that tomorrow is not a guarantee, then there shouldn't be a reason why you wake up in the morning and you cannot at least say, I am grateful to be alive. And for some of us, I am grateful to be alive and in great health, right? So you cannot tell me you cannot find one thing to be grateful for. And I know some people may think, well, I don't want to be alive. Are you sure about that? Or maybe you just don't want to be hurting, whether it's physically, emotionally, or what's going on with you, right? I think it's important to be grateful for the little things. Grateful for having food, grateful to be for being able to breathe, just little things. The next one, so that was the fourth one. The next one, which is principle number 5, is this one is a really good one. You would never believe it. Rest before you're tired. So this is to avoid fatigue, and this is one that I have to work on. I am terrible with this. Like sometimes I am on my routine, like my workout routine, and this, boom, 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 boom. I know that I'm lacking sleep, like I'm not getting enough sleep. I know that I'm over exercising. I know that I'm not eating like I'm supposed to, and I tell myself just one more day, and I catch up. And I always end up doing one more day more than I should, because it's like I tell myself, okay, this is the last day, then I'm gonna rest. Then I crash. And now I'm sick because my immune system basically gets weak, and I know that I'm gonna be sick for a little while and I'm gonna be okay. I don't love it, but I always end up being in the situation, not always, but I often find myself in this situation where I tell myself, okay, just one more day and then I will rest. And so yes, I think this is something that I personally can work on. Principle number 5, to rest before you're tired, to avoid fatigue. So I don't know. That's mine. I don't know what's yours. And principle number 6 is actually one that most people know. It's the 3 C's. So Dale Carnegie says, any fool can complain, any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. But it takes someone who is conscious, intentional, and has an attitude of growth to be conscious and be a kind and understanding person. So he's saying basically, don't criticize, don't condemn, don't complain. Again, the basic stuff. And we're not gonna sit here and pretend. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend, right? Do I criticize people? Yes, I do. Do I condemn people? I have the tendency to. Do I complain? I do. Do I want to? No. So I'm conscious of it, right? Like, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. I call it the 3 C's. It's generally called the 3 C's. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. When you think about it, am I criticizing right now? Am I condemning right now? Am I complaining right now? It's a hard one. Like I said, these are hard ones. I think all of us do either all 3 of them at some point or some of them, but I know it's a hard one, but we can be conscious about it and do better. So again, we had 6 principles. First one, smile. Second one, become a friendlier person. Third one, yes, overcome worries, right? Fourth one, cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Fifth one, rest before you're tired. And sixth one, the 3 C's, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. And so, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but like I said, this is not for manipulation, this is not for flattery. So make sure that if you decide to follow with these principles, that it comes from your heart. And it may not work for you. If it works for you, go for it. If it doesn't work for you, you don't have to do it. Because in everything in life, you have to take what resonates with you and what doesn't resonate with you. I want to leave you with a bonus. Actually, I want to leave you with homework, and I want to leave you with bonus. So the homework is, out of the 6 principles that I talked about, what is one that you feel that you could definitely focus on, that you can definitely get better at? And so that was the homework. And the bonus. So in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie talks about Father Forgets. It is so powerful for anyone, especially if you are a parent, a guardian, an auntie. I'll give you a brief overview. Basically, this man obviously has things going on with him, stress at work and whatnot, and he's constantly nagging at his little boy. When he talks to the little boy, every time he talks to him, is to yell at him, is to tell him he's doing something wrong, is to, basically not thinking of the child as a child and having so much expectation on the child. But the expectation has nothing to do with the child. Remember, we talked about this before. People treat you, the way people treat you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. So this man basically goes into his son's bedroom and is talking to him as he's sleeping, apologizing for always nagging at him, for only talking to him when he's nagging at him, and just saying, I've forgotten that you're just a child. And, I think this is really important because I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to pretend. But you don't know my story. I've been, fortunate to be around a lot of kids. I could even say I've raised my share of kids, right? And so it's definitely a situation where you're learning. It's a live and learn situation. But I would definitely advise to read that story. It's called Father Forgets. Like if you put it on Google, it's gonna come up. It's by Dale Carnegie. And there's also a poem that Dale Carnegie wrote just about smiling. So you can look for that. I'm actually gonna put a link down for you for the poem that Dale Carnegie wrote called Smile, and for Father Forgets. And there you go. So now that we're here at the end, remember to like, if you like it, of course. Remember to subscribe, because then you are one of the first people to know whenever there's a new video. And obviously, I would love your comments. I know some of you send me private comments, but I would love your comments because it encourages other people to, some other people are shy. I know they're shy and they don't want to be the first one to comment or put their name out there. So I would appreciate you if you do comment on the video. But if you really feel so inclined and you want to send me private messages about it, I'm okay with that too. Share with your friends, share with family, share with people that you think could use people that you think could use the information. And of course, love yourself. Take care of yourself. I am sending you a lot of love. I'm sending you hugs too. Thank you so much for being here with me. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.